Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about the increasing incredible value of wrong, confused content on Dungeons and Dragons. I've never seen a better example of this than Gamemasters' recent review saying, no, Dragon Delve is not worth it. Is not worth it for D&D. All right. Now, first of all, Scott, he said very clearly that it's not worth it for D&D. How can you just come along and say he was confused and wrong? Because he came along and said he was confused and wrong, right? Like, he literally did another video after that saying, someone came in my contents and said, hey, maybe if you didn't think like a crusty old grognard, you'd see the value of this book. And then I said to myself, wait a second, I did think like a crusty old grognard and really didn't see the value of this book, all right? Also, I looked at the Dragonomicon in order to determine my information about dragons rather than reading the material in 5th edition. And you're like, yeah, that's really confused and really wrong. But his video series on Dragon Delve is fantastic for promoting and selling and really pushing forward Dungeons & Dragons' brand new 2025 adventure book, Dragon Delves, even though he says to people, do not buy this, right? And so, so basically I'm trying to give more goodwill to grognards. I really dislike them, right? And he's a prototypical grognard, right? Let's count it off, right? Old dude, probably eats unseasoned potato salad, glasses and beard, right? Like, he checks every box for crusty. Oh, hey everybody. Hey, I'm trying to understand this 5th edition adventure. So let me pull out my 3rd edition Draconomicon. Like, dude, come on. Like, Fizzbands is right there, dude. Like, read that first, okay? Right? And he literally didn't. He literally is like, I really kind of elevated the importance of a book that was 30 years old rather than reading one that was 3 years old. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, that's pretty crusty grognard prejudice toward, like, and not a harmful prejudice, but because there are some harmful prejudices on the grognard space. But this was just prejudice. It was literally edition prejudice. Like, this other edition's better because it's older. No, dude. Blowing dust off a cover does not make that edition better, okay? Like, just think. Stop and think, right? And he is stopping and thinking. But what really blew me away was he comes forward with his, crusty grognard energy, and he's like, okay, let's do it. Let's look at this Dragon Delve book. And first of all, credit to him, because a bunch of grognards don't even look at these books. They certainly don't read them, right? So I think he's trying to break out of his grognard eggshell, and I hope he makes it. I really do. All right, okay. So he comes along, and he does a first look on Dragon's Delves. He does an amazing spoiler video on Dragon Delves. And frankly, this is the Kingmaker, right? This thing is fantastic. He did a fantastic breakdown, full spoiler breakdown of every adventure in the book. I loved it. This is one of the best D&D videos of the year, right? And I wish we got more of these for every single book, right? With good content creators like him, even though he's confused and wrong, literally by his own admission, right? So he comes along, he does a spoiler breakdown. Then he does is it worth it video, which I loved that he did, hey, is it worth a video? And then he gave a real answer. Like, he's like, no, this is not, like, he didn't equivocate. He's like, he put it right in the thumbnail. He's like, this is not worth you buying, right? And why did he do that? I'm a crusty grognard. Remember when it was 1984 and the world was good? Don't we all hate everything from 2024 beyond? And if something's shiny and the pages are fresh, boy, do we hate it. Or just like bringing his full grognard energy, right? And just like, nope, I don't like it. You're like, dude, like, but here's the great, but then he does another video after that saying, was I wrong? And if you listen to that video, you're like, oh yeah, you just said you were wrong, right? Maybe you had to read a little between the lines, but all your equivocating and all your second guessing, yeah, you were super wrong, dude. And you were very wrong to elevate 30-year-old content over 3-year-old content. Like, you're like, jeez, right? So yeah, like, you are super wrong. But the reality is he did 4 videos on Dragon Delve. What I think is interesting is I don't think he understands that by doing 4 videos on Dragon Delve and not doing 4 other videos on 4 other OSR and 4 other indie books, or even Daggerheart, you just massively helped Dungeons and Dragons, and you massively helped Dragon's Delve. And the fact that it says in your thumbnail, no, don't buy this, and you even said in the video, no, don't buy this, almost certainly the actual net gain for that book will be the exact opposite, right? People being like, oh, I definitely want to own this book, right? And even just like, they don't even need to hear his words. Just seeing his dope like thumbnails come up and say, oh, Dragon Delve people are, what's the latest OSE book? I don't know either. Who cares, right? And so I think, grognards don't understand that even when they complain about D&D, they're killing OSR and indie. They just don't mean to, right? And what's even more wild was he had actually read an adventure called The Will of Orcus, where a silver wormling was like, I'm gonna make evil Orcus commands, and you're like, do you even know how to do evil? And it was just, I was like, Game Master is the silver dragon wormling. He thinks he's hurting D&D and going to cost them some sales, and the reality is he's just driving people right to buy the book, which is just fascinating and really gives me a delightful view of Grognardia in a new, fresh way, that maybe they're not all as dangerous as I think they are. I really like Game Master's content. He's massively confused and massively wrong, and I'd rather listen to his wrong, confused content than 1 minute of like the basic expert, right? Like, yeah. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.